Hari Om to all the Atmajyotis. Today we'll be contemplating and chanting shloka number 5.29. I'd like to call on Sai Kriti to chant the shloka and Kritik to repeat after Sai Kriti.
bhoktāraṁ yajña-tapasāṁ
bhoktāraṁ yajña-tapasāṁ
sarva-loka-maheśhvaram
sarva-loka-maheśhvaram
su-hṛidam sarva-bhūtānāṁ
su-hṛidam sarva-bhūtānām
jñātvā māṁ śhāntim ṛichchhati
jñātvā māṁ śhānti-ṛichchhati
bhoktāraṁ yajña-tapasāṁ sarva-loka-maheśhvaram su-hṛidam sarva-bhūtānāṁ jñātvā māṁ śhāntim ṛichchhati.
bhoktāraṁ yajña-tapasāṁ sarva-loka-maheśhvaram su-hṛidam sarva-bhūtānām jñātvā māṁ śhāntim-ṛichchhati.
The meaning of the sloka is, having realized me as the enjoyer of all sacrifices and austerities, the Supreme Lord of all the worlds, and the selfless friend of all living beings, my devotee attains peace. Over to Aditya.
Thank you so much, Sai Kriti. Thank you, Kritik. So, what does this shloka mean? For me, when I first read the meaning of the shloka, the first part of the meaning was confusing. Having realized me as the enjoyer of all sacrifices. So, what is Krishna saying? What does that sentence really mean? How is Krishna benefiting from our sacrifices? So, can somebody look at this picture? Can anybody tell what is happening here? What do you think is this man doing here? Kritik? Okay, anybody else? Nobody? Just look at the picture and no wrong answers. You can just take a guess. What is he doing? Okay, let me give you a clue. This is something that many of us do once somebody has passed away. Yes, Rohan.
I think he's putting the ash of the person in the river.
Exactly. So it's a really common custom in many cultures to take the ashes of a person who has passed away and put it into the river. So Rohan, I have a question for you. Why do you think we do this? What is the point of this? What is happening when we do this? Do you know?
Like, I think if it's some, like, I think, no.
No? Just take a guess. Why do you think someone may put their
Okay,
ashes?
I think they might think that the water is very pure and like that.
Right. So the water is pure. So when we put the ashes in the water, we ourselves are purified.
Yeah.
Nice. Good. Anybody else? Any idea why this might be taking place? Kritik?
Can I-
Yeah.
Like everything is made out of 5 components: water,
Everything is made up of?
5 components: water, earth, air, fire, and space. And water is the most in the body. So
Right.
like that, they put the ashes in the water.
Right. So we're going back to our true
nature.
Right. Nice. Anybody else? Rohan, you had raised your hand.
Yeah, I had one more point.
Yeah.
Like, people also put it in Ganga and Yamuna, and they think that Ganga and Yamuna are like very, very divine rivers. So I think they put the ash into the river.
Right. So that's similar to your previous point, right?
Yeah.
Right. Anybody else? Okay. So Kritik, what Kritik said was exactly right. So essentially, where do we come from? Everything in us is made up of what we consume, right? So right now I'm breathing in and out. and a few hours ago I had my lunch, and a few minutes ago I had some water. So like that, everything in me is a component of everything around me. So what I eat comes from around me, what I drink comes from around me, what I'm constantly breathing comes from around me. So everything that a person is made up of comes from around them. So we are made up of what the earth, essentially. If you look at it as a very deep, as a very condensed and very at the root of it, we all come from the earth. So essentially, this practice is done so that we're saying that we come from the earth and we're going back to the earth. So in a way, every action we do, everything, every sacrifice or anything we do goes back to the earth. So what is the point of doing anything, you might ask? Anyways, anything I'm doing is going to go waste, and one day I'm going to die, right? But that's not true, because many of the actions and many of the sacrifices we make helps other people. And what is the point of helping other people? Because even they're going to die one day, right? But that's not true. This whole cycle of helping one another keeps going on and on. And these sacrifices we make is going to a higher truth and a higher being. What is this higher being Krishna is talking about? Look at this. He's saying, having realized. So what does he mean by me? Essentially, when he's saying me, he's meaning all of us. So all of us are the me that he's referring to. So every sacrifice that we do, every action we make, we go back to the one essential place we came from, which is the truth of us, which is the thing we call the Brahman. So this is what Krishna is saying. Every sacrifice we make, every action we do, every thing we do goes back to the where it came from, which is the Brahman, or which is the truth. So you might be asking, how is me and how is another person? How are we all the same? Let's do a simple experiment. Can somebody tell what this is?
A table.
Right. And what is this?
A pen.
And this?
A bottle.
Exactly. So, okay, look at these. Can you tell me what, let's say, a bottle, what do you think a bottle is made up of?
It's made up of glass and some plastic of the cap.
Okay, let's look at the glass, okay? What is this glass made up of?
Sand.
Okay, and what is the sand made up of?
Earth. Or
Okay. And what is the earth made up of?
the earth is made up of land, or
So earth is made up of multiple things, but essentially it's
the earth is made up of 5 elements.
okay, yeah. And what are these 5 elements in its very essence?
Water, air, earth.
No, sorry. You didn't understand my question. What makes up these elements? What is within these elements?
Truth.
Truth. Okay. Anything else?
Consciousness.
Consciousness. Okay. Anything else? Right.
Molecules.
Molecules. Okay. Akshat, can you tell me more? What is made up of molecule? What makes up molecules?
Atoms.
Exactly. So what makes up atoms?
Energy.
Energy. Exactly. So that's what I was trying to say. So everything we look around, so look at this pen or maybe this table. If we do the same kind of analysis, we come back to the one same thing. And what was that? Energy. So that's what Krishna is talking about. He's saying me, but it doesn't literally mean the form of Krishna, the person who we've heard in the stories. When he says me, he means the same energy that's within you, or let's say this glue stick or anything around us. It's made up of the same thing, like how we looked at this, that this glass bottle is made up of energy. Similarly, everything around us is made up of energy. So here, when Krishna is saying me, he doesn't literally mean the person who lived maybe a few thousand years ago, who was told in stories. He means every single one of us. So he's saying when every action, every sacrifice we make, and what is me? Me is that energy, that higher truth. That's not simply this body or this mind or this intellect. Something that's much more beyond, something that's purely made up of energy. And is the me in Aditya, let's say, or is the me in Rohan or Shreyas, is it any different? No, it's all one and the same. So that's what Krishna is saying in the shloka. So everyone is essentially one and the same, and the Krishna present me is present in you, and every action that this Krishna makes goes to the higher truth and is a sacrifice to every single one of us. So that's what this shloka in its essence says. Anyone has any questions? Any confusions? Okay. Can we start sharing then what we understood? Akshat.
So what I understood is everyone and everything in this world is made up of the same thing, and that is the universal energy.
Right.
And we all are Brahman.
Right. Anything else?
Yeah, that's it.
What about the part where we were saying the sacrifices, or what does Krishna mean when he's saying enjoyer of all sacrifices?
I joined a bit late, so I'll
Okay.
watch video and
Right.
in the YouTube, and then I can.
Right. No problem. Shreyas?
Yeah, I understood that first of all, like whatever the item comes from, it goes back to it. Like us, we are made up of like the earth. We came up from the earth. So as we saw in the picture, they take our ashes and put it into the water. Like they pour it. So that's one thing I understood. And one more, like we discussed now, that like the table was made up of wood, and the wood came from trees, and the trees was made from a seed. Then the seed was of molecules, then atoms, then at last everything has one thing in common: energy, which is the main point of everything. Like everything we see here, this mouse, myself, this headphones, everything is made up of energy. And the energy in all of us is the same. It's not like my energy, your energy is different. That's what I understood.
Exactly. One more point to add, just like how you were saying we come from earth and we go back to earth, similarly, the actions we do, every action we make goes back to the existence itself. Right? Is that clear?
Yeah.
Thank you, Shreyas.
Welcome.
Raghavi?
Yeah, so I've understood that when one person as in everyone, understands their like the sense of the sacrifices and austerities, the more they do to everyone, they go back to the truth which they come from. So they go back to Brahman. I think I also understood that everything is made up of energy, so everyone is the same, more or less, and all their energies are the same, so we shouldn't discriminate among anyone. We can learn from everyone and everything, and we should respect everyone.
Exactly. Thank you, Raghavi. Really well said. Sai Kriti, would you like to share? Sai Kriti? Okay. Rohan, would you like to share?
Yes, I understood that everything in this whole world is made up of energy, and and everyone has the true Atman, the energy.
Right.
And even the atoms are made up of energy, like everything is made up of energy.
Right.
I understood that.
Could you talk to how is that related? Could you connect that to the shloka?
Like here, the enjoyer of all sacrifices and
Enjoyer of all sacrifices. You can. What about that? Okay, so maybe you're a little confused.
yeah.
So essentially, what it meant was, enjoyer of all sacrifices is not Krishna. He's when he says me, it's not Krishna. It's every single one of us, right? Because we established that me and you are one and the same, which is present in different forms. So every sacrifice, every action we do goes to this higher existence or this higher truth that exists. Is that clear?
Okay. Yeah.
Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay. Thank you, Rohan.
Aditya, I would like to say a few things. So, for example, when you said every one of us, when Krishna says it's every one of us having realized me, it's every one of us. So, at the end of the day, you are looking at life from your viewpoint. Rohan is looking at life from his viewpoint. So, when Rohan looks at, as an example, so for Rohan, he is in, say, 7th grade. Correct, Rohan? Are you in 7th
Yeah.
grade? Yeah. So the subjects that Rohan have to read and study for exam are different from the subjects that you have to read and study for exam, Aditya. However, what is common between the two of you? See, the exam that you need to prepare for is different. The place you live is different. The nature of food you eat is different. What you like is different. So there is so much of difference is there. But still, when you say it all comes back to us, how do you clarify that?
Me?
Yeah.
So every action we do contributes to everyone around us in a way. And in a way, like as a much more, if you look at it macroscopically, it goes back to the earth or the people on the earth in a way. And at the end of the day, that goes to the everyone in the existence.
Excellent. So I would like to give an example. Okay. So now let's take a very simple example. If let's say right now, is your heart beating?
Yeah.
Okay. And is the blood circulating to different parts of the body?
Yeah.
Okay. Now let me ask you, for the heart to beat, can the heart just beat by itself? What is essential for the heart to beat? From where does it get the necessary energy?
From the food.
the food that you've been eating, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And from where does the food that you are eating come from?
From the earth.
From the earth. So say, for example, let's say you ate a mango or an apple or banana, whatever, right? From that, the energy is coming to your body. So in a way, you can say that, okay, for your heart to work, for your body to be healthy, your heart should be healthy. And for your heart to be healthy, that apple or mango is necessary. And for that mango to grow, what is important?
What for it to need water and sunlight.
Water, air, earth, you said sunlight, right? So from where the sunlight comes? From sun.
Yeah.
So in a way, you can also say that, okay, for my body to be healthy, as you go through this chain, even sun is important, right?
Yeah.
So in a way, every little change that is happening in this world, every little change that is happening within your body in a way, every other thing in this universe is involved. Is it not?
Yeah.
We may not think about it so deeply all the time, but now if you reflect, for your heart to function, that food is important, and for the food to come, whatever the trees are important, and for the trees to grow, earth is important, water is important, air is important, that small microbes which contributed for that tree to grow are important, and for all of them, the sun's energy, sunlight is important. So in a way, everything is connected to everything else.
Yeah.
Is it not? So in that sense, what you're saying is that once when you do any action, it affects everyone. Correct?
Yeah.
That's what, right? So therefore, when you wish, for example, the prayer that we say at the very end of our sessions, usually,
Sarve bhavantu sukhinah.
Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, lokaha samastaha sukhino bhavantu. Correct? So now you may be thinking, okay, I am just sitting here and saying that prayer. How will it help everybody? Now you see, it's your wish that gets transmitted everywhere. Just like how in a simple food you're eating, everything else is connected. So when you say something, everything else gets affected by it. So whatever you say also has the same power of affecting everyone. When you say nice things, it affects everyone nicely. When you say not so nice things, that also affects everybody. Because in a way, in everybody is that divine only, that Paramatman only. Though it may seem like everyone, but in everyone is that divine only. So therefore, when you say namaste to someone, in a way you're offering the namaste to the divine within them. When you feed a dog, you're feeding the divine within them. When you pour water to a plant, you are serving the divine within that plant. So in a way, every action that you and I do, any one of us do, affects every one of us. Every one of us, all of us, all the beings, it affects. Because in everyone, there is only one supreme divine being. I wanted to add this much. Any question or any clarity anybody needs? Or is there anything more anybody wants to add? All right. Aditya, back to you.
I think everyone shared. Okay, then we'll end it here. Thank you, everyone. Hari Om.
Hari Om.